Good morning. This is your CDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. In the heart of Jerningham Junction, farmers and community members united in a hands-on effort to strengthen food security. Peppers, peas and other crops were planted as part of an initiative to boost local production and encourage households to grow their own food. MP for Chaguanas East, Vandana Mohit, said the exercise is about food security and a stronger community.
We have distributed at least 1,600 seedlings through the Jerningham Junction farmers, the Cunupia Police Youth Club, and of course the urban farmer in Crown Trace within the constituency. So, persons can engage in their household kitchen gardens as well. So once we are able to assist our constituents in the growth of their own food, this is an accomplishment here for us in our constituency.
According to the MP, the seedling distribution forms part of a wider program targeting both rural and urban farmers across the constituency. She also commended farmers for their proactive approach to maintenance and development in the area.
We have always been working with our farmers in whatever they request from us. The silting works, etc., floodgates, etc. Now, what I must commend the farmers on is they have always engaged in their own fundraising activities to do projects for themselves, apart from just requesting things to be done from the government or the state. So our farmers work quite a lot within their community.
The initiative came as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen agricultural resilience and promote household food production across Chaguanas East. In other news, representatives from various ministries and emergency response agencies convened for a two-day disaster management summit organized by the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government this week. Using realistic simulations, participants evaluated their response capabilities, enhancing collaboration and readiness for crisis situations.
It was multilateral in coordination. The coordination was really effective. And I think once we prepare with summits like this, in the future, if or when we should have a disaster, hopefully that all of us who are here today would be able to reach out, integrate, and get over with any disaster that may come our way.
According to some of the decision makers, the summit allowed for a better perspective of what is required if a disaster occurs. For others, it was revisiting plans already in place to ensure they are effective moving forward.
It was very beneficial because we went through the different stages from pre-impact, post-impact, and recovery after this Category 3 hurricane event.
Through the interagency coordination, gaps in communication were identified and participants developed the next steps to be featured in real-world decision-making. In sport, France has dismissed concerns about their World Cup readiness after a surprise 2-1 loss to Ivory Coast in a warm-up game, saying the defeat is more of a wake-up call than a worry. Didier Deschamps' side took the lead thanks to a brilliant first-half strike from Ryan Cherki on Thursday, but Ivory Coast responded after the break, Gaëla Doué and Amad Diallo turning the match around in Nantes. With their World Cup opener against Senegal set for June 16th in New York, midfielder Aurelia Chouameni stressed that the result should be seen as part of their preparation. France also fielded a rotated lineup, resting several Paris Saint-Germain players after their Champions League success and making multiple second-half changes. Defender Lucas Hernandez also downplayed the significance of the loss. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you doing? How was the holiday?
It is the Sundayest feeling yesterday, and it's the Mondayest Friday ever. That's what they're saying. And I agree.
That is a good way to put it.
Yeah, for some reason it really felt like today was Monday, but you know what? The weekend is here. I'm so happy. Did you have a good Corpus Christi? Did we actually plant something?
I was going to ask you if you planted anything. I did not. However,
No.
I did observe. I don't know. Did I mention this? So like 4 years ago, I planted a pineapple crown, right?
Yes, and the little one.
Yeah. It's like less than the size of my palm. It's
so
like,
you know they have those features where someone grew the biggest crop. Can we say that you've officially grown the smallest pineapple.
Maybe. I mean, not something I'm extremely proud of, but you know, who knows? Maybe we could give Guinness a call and who knows? I may be immortalized in.
I really don't mind. Actually, let me go call them now. Thank you, Carrie. I'll talk to you soon. We have another, jam-packed show for you today. Today we're talking a lot about Facebook Marketplace. That's something I know you want to listen out for. So we'll talk soon.
I will. All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Virmala.
You're welcome, Carrie.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this break.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Every morning begins with a story, the headlines you need, the voices you trust, the conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you, conversations that spark new ideas, stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Friday, 5th June 2026. The time now, it is 6:09 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning as usual. Well, for only the second time in the nation's history, Trinidad and Tobago has secured a seat on the United Nations Security Council. The country was today elected as a non-permanent member for the 2027-2028 term, receiving overwhelming support from the international community with 181 votes at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Now, this achievement comes 40 years after TNT's first Security Council term and is being hailed as a major diplomatic milestone for the country. Let's hear now what Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers and Hugo Blanco, who serves as the President representative for the United Nations Development Program Multi-Country Office based in Trinidad and Tobago, said about this historic vote and seat. Well, we'll listen to that in a short bit, but for now, Land and Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein is this morning reassuring workers at the Trinidad Hilton that there are currently no plans for layoffs, saying that ongoing negotiations between the government-owned ETEC and Hilton will not affect employees. Now, his response comes after the Communication Workers Union warned that as many as 300 workers could be displaced if the Hilton brand ultimately leaves the country, calling for greater clarity on the hotel's future. A decision expected in July has now been deferred, with Hilton receiving an additional 1-month extension until August 16th. The issue stems from long-standing concerns over delayed renovations and capital upgrades at the state-owned hotel. Well, after our day off yesterday, we have some sad news now out of Longdenville, where a brother and sister were allegedly shot and killed near the Longdenville police post. The victims have been identified as Rita and Brian Regis Clark. Now, according to reports, the pair were inside their residence along Longdenville Old Road on Thursday, 4th June 2026. when a lone gunman forced entry and opened fire. Now, that CCTV footage that we just saw and heard reportedly captured the suspect arriving in a Nissan Note registration PEJ 4185 before exiting the vehicle and carrying out the fatal shooting. The incident took place a short distance from the Longdenville police post. Police investigations are ongoing. So it is finally Friday. We really do hope that you had a great Corpus Christi yesterday. You took a nice break and you're ready to finish the week strong. We have a packed show for you, so you know what to do. Grab your cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
The Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago presents an evening of flair and flavor. Rang Ka Utsav, a celebration of colors. The 38th annual dinner and fashion event. Saturday, June 6th. Witness a stunning fashion of the world showcased by Richard Young. Hosted with timeless elegance by Miss World 1986, Giselle Laurent West. Rang Ka Utsav. With Johan Chakere, Neval Chitla, and the Shiv Shakti Dance Company. Mix and mingle and indulge in premium cuisine by Amtar Fine Foods. Saturday, 6th of June at 6 p.m. at the Bougainvillea Hall, Center of Excellence, Mokoya. Tickets are $7.50 at Charon's, Trin City Mall, and Diego Martin, the Little Store, Kiram, Neak Arena, Hilton, Trinidad. Extra foods or scan the QR code to book online. Call 662-2159.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, got you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100. Exalted Lord, our God, and worship His holy name. For His mercy, kindness. Lift your voice, every nation, all creation, great and small. Exalt the Lord.
Facebook Marketplace has become a convenient way for people to buy and sell goods, but it has also become a growing target for scammers and criminals. In Trinidad and Tobago, victims have reported being robbed during meetups, tricked by fake payment receipts, and losing thousands of dollars through fraudulent listings and even online transactions. Now, as online buying and selling continue to grow in popularity, so too are the risks. This morning, we examine the latest Facebook Marketplace scams affecting consumers and discuss how users can better protect themselves. Well, joining us now are Darren Dore, digital anthropologist and founder of the CyberSafe TT Foundation, and Cole Hussein, cybersecurity evangelist and digital safety advocate. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for being here. Happy Friday.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Now, this is a very big discussion and one that we've been wanting to have for quite a long time. So to start off, Darren, tell me, how serious is the issue of Facebook Marketplace scams in Trinidad and Tobago right now?
Well, good morning, everyone. It is extremely serious. The thing is, Facebook Marketplace is not only for adults, but we also have kids that will operate in that space as well. So, you know, CyberSafe TT's mandate has really been to protect the youths in the online space. So you would kind of find that, well, yes, whilst the news speaks about adults being scammed, you know, it's also an avenue for, you know, the younger ones to actually be scammed as well. And the nature of it is, I'm going to give you a real deal. You can buy a PlayStation 5 for you know, very, very cheap. Yeah. And they will most likely, you know, fall for that. And we don't want the ultimate to happen where they actually go and meet somebody in public, right?
Yeah.
So it is becoming a lot more serious, and I believe that, yes, it is quite a serious issue right now in Trinidad and Tobago, and probably in the world at large.
Yeah, you know, you've seen that Facebook Marketplace is kind of like a shopping mall now. So a lot of people are saying, you know, I can't find it in the store. Let me just go on Marketplace. Right. I'm very concerned about that. And I don't think I've ever purchased anything from Facebook Marketplace, but I have thought about it. So Cole, tell me, what are the most common Facebook Marketplace scams that are currently affecting users locally?
Yeah, so some of the most common scams would be like fake cash, you know, fake products. So we have persons, you know, you're going to purchase this thing, or you're going to give away a product, right? So let's say same PlayStation 5. And when you go, you know, a person hands you a wad of cash. And when you look at the wad of cash after you hand off and they drive off and whatever it is, it's just a few bills on top.
Oh my gosh.
And then, you know, you have some paper in between. So you have that. You also have the fake products where, you know, you have someone, I think it was Darren, we were discussing in the car, that the person would have given them a box of rocks as a PlayStation 5. So those
I'm seeing cars on the screen as well.
Yeah.
So that can be, I mean, majority of these hopefully are legitimate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're gonna assume, yeah,
okay,
that
so let's
the majority
assume that
of them.
Right. They're mostly legitimate. Then there's phones. Listen, I have seen people reach out for phones all the time on Facebook Marketplace. So imagine getting scammed for a car.
And it's very easy to get scammed for a car.
How so?
So the thing is, you know, you're gonna get a picture of this vehicle, and they would probably say, listen, you don't need to pay me the full amount. We could do a rent to own, right? So, you know, just pay me a deposit
Yeah.
And we sorted the vehicle after. It looks very attractive.
Yeah.
So you pay the deposit, and then the individual disappears. But I want to just step back to what it is I said, and at the end of the day, I don't want the whole of Trinidad and Tobago to be afraid of Facebook Marketplace. You know?
I am.
Right. So it's probably just few and far between in terms of these scams.
Right.
But with proper digital literacy, I think we could, at least try to help you in your purchase online.
So now, what are some of the tactics, the most common tactics that the scammers are using to target buyers and sellers online?
Well, I like that you use the word target, right? Because you might have been scammed by chance.
Yes.
Now, we share a lot of stuff on the internet about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? We might probably say things that we shouldn't be saying. And these scammers, they're professionals in their own right. So they will look at, okay, well, Cole looks like he's looking for a phone, or he's looking for a new car, right? And we put a lot of this information on the social spaces. And of course now, just quite dramatically, you see this ad or this message about, hey, I have a deal for a phone, I have a deal for a car. So that's one way in which they will target you.
Okay.
So I don't think it's really by chance, right? And of course, you could go venturing into, looking for things as well. But yeah, that's something to be aware of. How much information we share also makes us a potential victim.
Yeah. People use a lot of new things that I'm seeing on the screen right now. We have apartments, and that can also be a scam. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's just say, maybe are they editing these things to look fake? Is it that they're...
I'll just jump in before Darren speaks. So basically, we have the apartments there, and you'll have someone, you reach out, and you probably don't know that they would have taken someone else's picture, and they clone it, and then they say they have this place for rent. And they say, well, just give me the down payment, and you'll come to meet me next week. And then they disappear or they block you. Right, so those are the things that people are doing these
Guys,
days.
there's also AI now, so you can also create a picture of a well-furnished apartment somewhere with a view of the city, and you'll actually see the Twin Towers behind it, and it comes from AI. That is interesting. So this is all changing the way that you now, in your roles, have to battle all of this. Yeah, because they're changing the game constantly.
It's not making it any easier for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, people are still falling for these scams despite all the public warnings. And I mean, you can talk and you can say things. Why are people still falling for it?
That's one question we get asked all the time. Cyber safety has been around since 2010. That's 16 years that we've been, trying to push this being safe online narrative. But I'll tell you, today it's one type of scam, and next week is something brand new that neither of us would have known about, right? And it's easy for you to kind of fall prey, especially with the advent of AI and just the ability to do a whole set of things, at 2 clicks. So digital literacy is the key. And I guess that's where cyber safety comes in. We stay on top of the game. Cole and I would be, searching the internet, looking at what's happening, what's the latest trends in scams. And we post it up on our social platforms, right? And try to keep the public, at least aware as to what's going on. So I want us to also remember that these online scammers are professionals. They are not just fly-by-night individuals who have one item to sell. They do this as a profession. So for all intents and purposes, they do a lot of homework.
Yes.
The messages and the conversations that they have to you are very, very precise. And
so it's like social engineering, right? So essentially what they're doing is encouraging you to make that decision for yourself. It's like, I'm not forcing you to do it, but I just told you something and here you are, you're buying it. Now on the screen, we just had some headlines that we've seen recently. A lot of people have been falling for this. I believe it is back up here. So these are the headlines that we've been seeing in recent weeks. A lot of robberies. They lost a lot of money. As you said, they're meeting up in Shogunas, somewhere close to something, but it's not necessarily a police station or anywhere that you can, that you are safe. So that's another thing. Now, Cole, what if I'm selling something, I'm buying something, and or vice versa, and we're talking about bank payments.
Right.
So what if they send a screenshot and they say, oh, well, I transferred you the money, but that doesn't mean that it has been actually transferred.
Correct.
It could also, it could be a myriad of things.
Yeah.
So tell us about that now. That's also a trick. That's also a scam in itself.
Yeah.
So how can we mitigate that?
Right. So this is something Darren and I were discussing today, a couple of days ago. when you receive a bank transfer or a screenshot of a bank transfer, it doesn't really mean that you've been paid.
Really?
What you should do is, either contact your bank or just simply go into your banking app. I mean, during COVID, we were, sending so many bank transfers because we couldn't interact physically with people. So, I would say, stay away from just taking that as your full proof of payment, and just take a look at your bank app and verify the balance,
That's very interesting. Yeah, so if I get a screenshot saying, well, I just transferred you this amount of money, but do you realize sometimes, just to get a little bit technical, on the banking app, before you actually click confirm, I've seen people take pictures of just that, about to make the transfer. Hey, look, I just sent it. No, they didn't. And sometimes you're busy and you just glance at that and you're like, oh, okay, that money's going to come. And then they disappear. So what do I do now? Nothing.
Well, I mean, so we're in the age of AI as well, right?
Right.
So you literally just need to tell AI, can I get a receipt that looks like it's a Republic Bank receipt, and this is the amount of money, and this is who it's going to, and believe you me, it will look quite legitimate, right?
Wow.
If you happen to fall prey and you give away the product or whatever the case, and you know you didn't get that funds, we have noticed that the TNT cybercrime unit, fraud squad in particular, they've taken up these cases, and they would do the diligence in terms of trying to follow up and so on. One thing that we always tell every individuals, any issue online, whether it be cyberbullying or online fraud like this, make sure you take screenshots, because that's probably your only evidence, right? Screenshots of the person's profile, because if this can be, they might probably just delete the profile and go after that, right? So you'll have nothing to go with if you don't take this evidence.
Yes.
So gathering as much evidence as possible is key.
Yeah. Now, when you're dealing with, traditional crimes and physical crimes, it's evidence is easier. But when you're dealing with crimes on the internet, things get a little bit tricky then, because you have also the ability to edit screenshots.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that before.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't we all done something,
We've heard it in Photoshop, right?
Oh, right, Photoshop.
Right, yeah. So,
and then you have a lot of native apps on phones that can probably do editing really easily. You could probably use a markup on your iPhone. So it's very scary. Now, let's talk red flags now when you're engaging with strangers online. What should you look out for?
Well, I mean, immediately, if the individual is seeming like they want to have this transaction done very urgently, right? Like they're trying to force you and push you, and particularly to make that deposit or to pay that down payment, right? You might want to purchase something, you might have a few questions asked, and all they're asking about is the payment. That's definitely a red flag.
Okay.
Someone actually, was selling an item online. I went to check their profile and realized, well, the profile was created yesterday and they have 2 followers. That's another red flag, right?
No profile picture.
Yeah, no profile picture. Or, you're saying that you're one thing and the profile picture is probably not of a person.
Yes.
Nothing to really give you a sense of comfort or security that, hey, this is a legitimate profile.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one area.
Yeah, and just to add, sometimes you'd want to meet by the police station. So, we recommend, whether you do the transaction inside or right outside the police station, somewhere in a public space, preferably in daylight, where there are CCTV footage and so on, and then you realize the person says, no, I don't want to meet in the police station, so
why do you not want to meet in the
they'll
police
find
station?
all kinds of reasons.
Excuses,
all types of
So,
reasons.
we recently spoke with the TTPS, and they were expressing that, sometimes we think going outside of the police station, where police are inside, they don't really understand what's going on outside, or they're very busy doing what they are usually doing. So meeting outside sometimes can also be a tricky thing. So at least let them know that you'll have a transaction being conducted. They can look out for that. Because sometimes it's outside, they just drive by and say, okay, well, this was good. And I have my box of rocks now. And then I don't know what to do with those rocks. So let's talk about, let's zero in on artificial intelligence now. So I know all of your efforts can slightly be undermined by the use of artificial intelligence and new technology that's popping up. So how are you both keeping up with this?
It's given us some long nights, right? Because the way in which you can use artificial intelligence to scam multiple people at the same time, I think that's the scary part. So we spoke about creating fake receipts and so on, creating fake profiles very, very easily. But with artificial intelligence, now you could have one criminal, right, one cyber criminal, using artificial intelligence to target hundreds of people within a matter of minutes. That's the power of artificial intelligence, and that's how scary it is. So it's not that, okay, well, I need to find someone. No, they could use artificial intelligence to find all the vulnerable people online and then target all of them. You know, in one day, you could actually target, 100 people. And if one person out of that 100 fall for a scam and give you $5,000, well, it was worth it, right?
That's $5,000. That's free.
Yeah.
So now digital literacy is very, very important. So we're going to help, reduce scam victims, and that's a tremendous task. So why is digital literacy important?
Yeah, I would say, digital literacy is important because it helps you identify or mitigate any risk that you may fall prey to. Something that we talk about when we are doing our presentations, is paying attention to the URLs or little things like the logos in your banking apps and these things. So if someone sends over a screenshot, let's say for example RBC, you would look at the screenshot and you would immediately know, oh, this doesn't look like a RBC screenshot. Or you might see some of the figures just look a little skewed. It's because it's AI generated. So digital literacy would help you mitigate those things, quickly identify how to stay away or avoid scams.
There's some telltale signs that the average person might not be able to discern from, right? And that happens across different types of scams. So always being up to date with what these new type of scam techniques are is good. And that's why we say follow cyber safety. We will try to keep you updated on, these things to look out for. Because at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money that you want to keep safe, right? So spend a couple of minutes, look at some of these videos that we might post, read some of the articles and so on, and it'll probably, put you in that right space.
So, gentlemen, I know that this is not about Facebook Marketplace, but I want to take it a step further. I just want to talk a little bit about those AI videos that we've been seeing. I've been a victim, so this is very personal. I've been a victim quite a few times. They've made quite a few videos of me selling some sort of scam. Just to reiterate, that has not been and will never be me. So there are so many telltale signs that I feel people are missing. So, for example, you'll see the mouth moving, but you'll know it's not my voice, or you'll know it's a version of my voice that's with an Australian accent or something like that. And it is very, very scary what AI can do. We've seen it recently doing some very, very inappropriate things to people in a picture and all of that. So let's talk about those schemes now. So technically, they're not really doing anything. There's nothing to click. They're telling you to, hey, go onto this website and spend your money. So they're encouraging you. So they're not doing much. So let's just talk a little bit about those videos and what we can look out for, and just warn people a little bit about it, because I have been trying.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's something that I think, it's very, very difficult for the average person to know whether it's a real video or a fake video, right? I think I probably saw some of those videos that you're speaking about, right?
I'm embarrassed
so they are,
for them, not because it's not me.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so easy for you to do this now. The tools that we have available, some of them at no cost. You literally just have to write a prompt, take a video of you that exists already on the internet, or us, right?
Okay.
And, put us into that video. So that's the very, very scary part, how easy it is to get done. But then, again, the telltale signs, the mouth movements, the fingers. It might be more than 5 fingers on any one hand. It still hasn't really figured that out too much, right? But what we say to solve these problems, go to the source. So they might have that one video with you saying something about, a specific deal or get involved in this. Right. It should not only exist in one spot, and then you on your own personal space. And this is what I actually advise a lot of professionals, individuals who are in the public space, and they might be more susceptible to having these type of AI clones made of them. On your space, if you have a video that's going on that's real, put it on your personal profile as well. Don't be afraid also to put on your personal profile that's not a real one, because the public is going to go back to you to validate. So trying to look at the AI video and figure out if it's real or not might be a challenge. Validate your sources.
Yeah, there are a few markers as well. So if you look at the profile, some of those profiles have 0 followers on them, and they're somewhere based in Uganda or Egypt or something like that. So there's no way you can really trace where that's coming from. Now, as the people who are victims of this, what can we do? Because I'm sad to say, every time you click report, for some reason, it does not load, and then I'm never able to report it. And then it disappears for a while, and then it comes back.
Yeah, you see, reporting on social media is a little misnomer, and I'll tell you that from being involved in a whole host of different situations, whether it's cyberbullying or impersonation or online reputation, right? That's what it sort of falls under. Where it actually works, if you get scores of people to report, not just a handful, a lot of people to report a particular account, then something might actually happen.
Yeah.
I would say report it to the local authorities, particularly if we have things like defamation of character or impersonation, anything like that that might be detrimental to an individual. And then we could probably take some, sort of action.
Well, gentlemen, before we wrap up, where can we follow cyber safety, TT?
Well, we are on all social media platforms. Our website is actually probably the most active because we write a lot of articles, write a lot of content about being safe on the internet. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. We're doing some YouTube videos as well. Cole and I are looking at actually having some podcasts available because we know folks like to listen in on and have some conversations. So
that would be really good. As I said, this is a very topical issue. The information is on the screen for you now. That's their website, that's their contact if you want to give them a call and have a little chat about the box of rocks that you should not be having in your possession because you are not going to get scammed. They're going to help you through it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Cole and Darren, for joining me this morning. The time now is 6:35. A really good discussion on cyber safety. Please be safe when you're using the internet. It is a very tricky place. And of course, reach out to the experts. We take a break, and when we come back, the show continues on this beautiful Friday morning.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on,
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. Efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site.
You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank, account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
Well, as we've been discussing, Trinidad and Tobago has secured a seat on the United Nations Security Council. Political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani says the election is a significant achievement that reflects the country's standing within the international community.
I mean, it's the second time that we have been elected to the Security Council. We were elected in the 1985-86 period. And now we are back. And I think what makes this quite significant is the headwinds that the government faced late last year when Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa was very firm in her position with regard to the U.S. military buildup in the southern Caribbean Sea and also her position on Venezuela. And I think that the Caribbean Media Corporation and a number of other local, regional, and diasporic commentators all berated her for the position that she adopted. And they said directly to her that she was jeopardizing Trinidad and Tobago's opportunity to be elected to the Security Council. And this was being widely peddled late last year, and I think what has happened now is that she has been vindicated with 181 votes out of 191. I was very surprised, however, that there was one vote for Guyana when Guyana was not on the ballot. Although we were unopposed, and I don't think this has been fully explained in the public domain, we were unopposed, but we still had to get 2/3 of the votes, because if we didn't, then that would have opened the door to other nominees to come into the picture. So I think that it is significant that we got 181 out of 191, and the threshold was 122. So we had to get 122 votes, so we got 181, so we were well clear of that.
Professor Ghani says the overwhelming support received by Trinidad and Tobago sends a strong message about the country's international standing and its ability to contribute meaningfully at the highest levels of global diplomacy.
Well, the standing, I think, is very good, because the main thing that happened today was that all 5 permanent members voted for us. So the United Kingdom, United States, China, France, and Russia, who are the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, all voted for Trinidad and Tobago as a representative from the Latin America Caribbean region. There's only one representative, and it was Trinidad and Tobago that was on the ballot. But Trinidad and Tobago could not qualify if it did not get that 2/3 majority. So we were well in excess of it. But it's very significant because the positions adopted internationally by the Prime Minister, which she made very clear at the UN General Assembly last September, this was publicly known. This is public knowledge and has been repeated over and over. And she has been vilified over and over for her position. So I think that in terms of international standing, the fact that we have received such an overwhelming mandate from the UN, because, in some of the other categories, it wasn't that straightforward. If you look at the Western European and other category, there were 3 countries, and Portugal got 134 votes, Austria got 131 votes, and you had to get 127 to qualify, and unfortunately Germany got 104, so Germany didn't make the cut. And then in the Africa-Asia spot, you had the situation where Kyrgyzstan, not Africa-Asia, the Asia-Pacific, Kyrgyzstan came through in the end, but it took 4 ballots to resolve it because the Philippines were in contention, and they had to be able to get the required number of votes, and Kazakhstan eventually prevailed. So it's not a straightforward thing, and I don't think that the fact that we were unopposed in terms of nomination from this region doesn't mean that it was a cut and dried case. We had to get more than 2/3. We had to cross 122 votes in our particular case. And if we didn't, it would have opened the door to other developments. So I think that it's something that we need to take note of, and I think it's a proud moment.
Right, and how will this elevate Trinidad and Tobago's diplomatic profile when we think about the world stage?
Well, it will certainly elevate it because we're one of 15 members at the UN Security Council. The Security Council is the body that agrees on sanctions and various other types of military action, UN peacekeeping forces, and various other things like that, so that there is a specific role. And being one of the 15 countries for the next 2 years puts us in a position to exert a fair measure of influence diplomatically on the world stage by being a member of the United Nations Security Council.
Trinidad and Tobago will assume its non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council in January of 2027, succeeding Panama as the representative for Latin America and the Caribbean. Well, from here we take a look at what's happening across the region and the world. When we return, we talk all about UTC on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
The Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago presents an evening of flair and flavor. Rang Ka Utsav, a celebration of colors. The 38th annual dinner and fashion event. Saturday, June 6th. Witness a stunning fashion of the world showcased by Richard Young. Hosted with timeless elegance by Miss World 1986, Giselle Laurent West. With Johan Chakere, Neval Chitlan, and the Shiv Shakti Dance Company. Mix and mingle and indulge in premium cuisine by Amtar Fine Foods. Saturday, 6th of June at 6 p.m. at the Bougainvillea Hall, Center of Excellence, Mokoya. Tickets are $7.50 at Charon's, Trin City Mall, and Diego Martin, The Little Store, Kiran, Neha Arena, Hilton, Trinidad. Extra foods or scan the QR code to book online. Call 662-2159.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
The Unit Trust Corporation is reporting another year of strong financial performance with solid returns for investors and continued expansion of its regional investment strategy. As economic uncertainty continues to influence markets worldwide, many people are looking for safe and effective ways to grow their wealth over the long term. Well, this morning we discuss UTC's latest results, the performance of the investment funds, and what the future holds for investors. Well, joining me this morning is Karen Guidin Gosain, investment management head at the Unit Trust Corporation. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. My message today is simply that UTC should be part of everyone's financial journey.
Yeah. Now let's start here. A lot of people know UTC, but for anyone hearing about it for the first time, maybe even our younger viewers, what exactly is it?
So the Unit Trust Corporation, commonly known as UTC, is one of Trinidad and Tobago's leading investment institutions. For more than 4 decades, we've helped individuals and families grow their money through professionally managed investment funds. What makes UTC unique is accessibility. You don't need to be wealthy to start investing at UTC. In fact, we make investing affordable and approachable for everyone. It is also important to note that our core mission is to generate value, distributions to our unit holders, ensuring that they benefit directly from the performance of the funds. So today we are happy to confirm that UTC serves over 570,000 unit holders across Trinidad and Tobago as well as the wider Caribbean.
Now, I know that UTC recently held its annual general meeting, so tell us all about it.
Acknowledging feedback from some of our unit holders, UTC held its 44th annual general meeting on the 27th of May 2026 in San Fernando. And it was an important opportunity for us to reflect on our performance, our strategy, and where we're heading as an institution. Our theme this year is Future Ready, Evolving with Purpose, Expanding with Vision, Delivering Value. The theme captures where UTC is today. That is, we are modernizing, expanding regionally, strengthening our services, and continue to provide opportunities for wealth creation for our unit holders.
Now, financially, can you tell us how did UTC perform in 2025?
We delivered very, very strong results in 2025. Our income reached $3.5 billion, while net income was $35 million. Our retained earnings also continued to grow steadily, reaching $1.8 billion in 2025. This growth reflects UTC's long-term financial stability. Now we manage $24.2 billion in funds on behalf of the unit holders, and since inception, UTC has distributed $11.9 billion to unit holders. One of the most encouraging signs is that we notice that people are investing more with UTC. New individual investments increased significantly from $302 million in 2024 to $982 million in 2025. That's just 1 year later.
Wow.
So this tells us that people are actively looking for smarter ways to grow and protect their money.
Now, when people hear UTC funds, what exactly does that mean? Can you break that down for us?
UTC offers mutual funds, especially we pool investors' money together and professionally manage it across diversified portfolios. So instead of an investor trying to pick an investment on their own, the investor benefits from experienced managers who spread risk across different asset classes. At UTC, we offer funds that meet all goals, whether it's income, a combination of growth and income, retirement planning, or even saving for your children.
Now, how did the actual funds perform during 2025? Can you tell us that?
Sure. Overall, in 2025, UTC's funds remain resilient despite a challenging global environment, as you said in your introduction. The TT Dollar Income Fund returned 3.1%, while the US Dollar Income Fund returned 3.5%. These funds performed particularly well in a year where local fixed income investments benefited from high interest rates, and international fixed income investments benefited from total returns. Our balanced funds also demonstrated the value of diversification in 2025. For example, the Growth and Income Fund returned 0.9% and the Universal Retirement Fund returned 1.8%. Now, while these numbers may seem modest, it's important to understand the context. The local stock market, which is benchmarked by the All-TNT Index, declined by over 13% in 2025. What helped our balanced funds or cushioned the impact of the local stock market underperformance was the international diversification, especially exposure to global equities, where markets like the S&P 500 delivered positive returns. This reinforces one of our key principles at UTC, which is diversification matters.
Now, that really highlights the importance of long-term investment, right? So tell us about that.
Absolutely. Investing is not about reacting emotionally to short-term market movements. Markets move in cycles, and one of the best examples was shared at our AGM. Our flagship Growth and Income Fund showed where if someone invested $1,000, just $1,000, and that was in 1982 at our inception, and simply stayed invested, their portfolio would have grown to $23,817. This was an annualized rate of 7.72%. So despite the performance we've seen in 2025, over the long term, the fund has added value as it has been designed to do. So this performance includes both capital growth as well as reinvested distributions, as expected in the fund, demonstrating the power of consistency, persistence, and compounding.
Now, UTC has also been expanding regionally. Can you tell us about that?
Regional growth is a major part of our strategy. Through the UTC Global Balance Fund Limited, the operations expanded in 2025 into Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Dominica, with Antigua and Barbuda coming in stream on 2026, early in 2026. So we are now operational across 6 Eastern Caribbean country union member states, beginning originally in St. Lucia. This reflects expansion, given UTC's confidence in our region and our commitment to broadening access professionally to manage investment opportunities.
Now, why is investing especially important right now, Karen?
So, before I get into investing, I want to also show that UTC is not only about providing unit holders with returns, but we are investing in the public. We are investing in financial literacy, entrepreneurship support, and community development, because national wealth creation is important to us. So, however, from an investing perspective, saving money is no longer enough in many cases. With rising costs, economic uncertainty, money sitting idly can lose purchasing power over time. Investing allows your money to work for you and grow over the long term. One of the biggest misconceptions is that you need a lot of money to begin investing. However, UTC has opportunities where you can start with as little as $100, either TT or US. Consistency matters more than starting big.
Yeah. All right, Karen, well, before we go, can you briefly tell us what is UTC watching as we move through 2026, and what's your final message for us today?
So we continue to monitor opportunities and risk carefully. Some positive signs include improving local stock market performance in 2026 compared to the decline we saw in 2025, and stronger energy prices which support Trinidad and Tobago's economy. At the same time, we are watching inflationary pressures, rising interest rates, and geopolitical uncertainty globally. But UTC remains focused on disciplined investing, prudent risk management, and long-term value for creation for our unit holders. So in closing, I would say that this is a good time for people to take a serious look at their financial future. Whether your goal is saving, investing, retirement planning, or building long-term wealth, the important thing is to start. UTC has solutions for everyone at every stage of their financial journey, and we encourage persons to come in, speak to one of our investment advisors at the UTC investment centers across Trinidad and Tobago, or visit our website at www.ttutc.com.
Well, thank you very much, Karen, for joining us this morning, talking all about UTC and their success in the past few years, and of course what's to come. Just about a minute before the top of the hour, we take a break. Carries up then with the major network news. See you inside hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Hi everybody, I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
The Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT. and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. The annual Corpus Christi feast and procession drew hundreds of Catholics in a vibrant expression of faith as they gathered on Thursday to honor the body and blood of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. The celebration featured prayer, reflection, and a public procession, with the faithful coming together in reverence and unity to reaffirm their devotion and spiritual commitment. During his homily, Roman Catholic Archbishop Jason Gordon urged Catholics to remember that through various testing, God is able to change the hearts of a people.
Does not live by bread alone. And brothers and sisters, we have become a nation that has wanted only the material stuff, wanted only to feed off of the sensational stuff, wanted only what is glamorous. And it reveals our heart.
Recognize and be thankful for the many provisions God continues to make for us as a nation.
Your eyes and see that God has blessed us as a people beyond all measure with talent, with creativity, with beauty, with art, with culture, with so many different things. Raise your eyes and recognize we are much, much more than we're allowing ourselves to be.
Despite the early morning showers, students, worshippers, and parishioners engaged in a public display of faith through the city. In other news, a local farming group gave back to the community through a free seedling giveaway, providing residents with the resources to grow their own food. The initiative was not only meant to support household food security, but also to encourage greater community participation in agriculture, particularly among young people who are being inspired to explore opportunities in farming and sustainable living. Members of the Jerningham Farmers Association are continuing a long-standing tradition of community outreach through agriculture. Secretary of the Jerningham Farming Association, Javid Rahman, said his association takes time to invest in society via the Free Plant Distribution Initiative.
Reasons why we want to maintain this tradition, as well as to try to encourage the younger ones to get into having home kitchens. You never know when it is someone will be inspired by this planting here and would want to be the next upcoming farmer, whether it be traditional in-ground farming, hydroponics, aquaponics. So it's really just to get back the I would say the home kitchens, kitchen gardens, as well as encouraging the youths to plant a bit more.
Mr. Rahman noted that this initiative has grown steadily over the years and continues to have the support from both farmers and local markets. He says even with challenges, especially around land tenure, access to support and competition from imports, the association is seeing brighter days ahead.
Once we have our farmers badge, a lot could happen, but I do know that there are works taking place right now where we are trying to work, I would say the government is trying to work to push the farmers badge to be based on production rather than the ownership of land, which is a very good thing. As well as we would like to see, I would say, more support from not just the government but from people around, where it is, you purchase locally versus the imports, So that is something that will be very beneficial to us as farmers here in Trinidad.
The association says it will continue its outreach efforts while working to strengthen local food production and support farmers across the country. In some sport now, after another costly collapse at the French Open, world number one Aryna Sabalenka admitted she felt like stepping away from tennis. She said she wanted to quit the sport in the moment, but hoped to regain her mental focus in a few days. Sabalenka, still chasing her first French Open title, had been in a strong position, leading by a set and 2 breaks and coming within 2 points of victory. However, she lost momentum and went on to drop 12 of the final 13 games in a 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 defeat to Diana Schneider, who is playing in her first Grand Slam quarterfinal. Reflecting on the loss, Sabalenka acknowledged it would take time to recover, comparing it to her defeat to Coco Gauff in last year's final, where unforced errors also proved costly. She added that she felt the urge to release her frustration, joking that she might spend time venting her anger, though she was unsure if it would help. And that's what's making the news at this time. When we come back, it's hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
I'm Virmala Balkaran, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack. Whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives, we are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
World Environment Day is observed globally on June 5th every year to promote awareness and action for the protection of our planet. It is led by the United Nations Environment Programme and has been a key global platform for environmental advocacy since the 1972 Stockholm Conference. The 2026 campaign places emphasis on direct climate action, emissions reduction, and strengthening ecological resilience under the theme Inspired by Nature for Climate for our future. We actually collabed with Swimcall for this exclusive video for World Environment Day.
Today, we join the global community in observing World Environment Day, a reminder that each of us has a role to play in protecting the environment we all share.
At Swimcall, we believe that creating a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago begins with simple actions taken by all of us. When we think about protecting the environment, we often think about large projects and major initiatives, but real change can come from something as simple as a single plastic bottle.
A bottle tossed onto the ground can contribute to litter, pollute our waterways, affect wildlife, and impact the beauty of our communities. However, that same bottle, when properly recycled, can be given a second life and diverted from our landfills.
The difference is one simple choice. This World Environment Day, we challenge you to think differently about your waste and embrace the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Avoid littering and encourage your family, friends, and community to do the same. Small actions may seem insignificant, but together they create meaningful change.
The environment gives us shelter, food. You also use trees and stuff to make clothes, medicine, and all types of things that like for health and for the betterment of ourselves.
Without the environment, we cannot really live or do anything, such as have a home or go anywhere.
We should keep the environment cleaner as it is better for everyone.
We should all care and protect our environment. Like, don't litter. If you see like a piece of litter on the ground, you pick it up and put it in the bin.
I think we should protect wildlife and reduce waste.
Don't litter in the ocean because it can cause danger to the marine animals in the ocean.
I think we should encourage our communities to do cleanups on the streets like that.
For the environment, I think that one of the basic problems is pollution, all the types, air, land, water. We should stop littering and throw away all our garbage in the different bins that we have for each specific one.
Mila, do you recycle?
Yes.
Do you recycle?
Yes.
World Environment Day reminds us that protecting the environment is not the responsibility of just one person or organization.
It belongs to all of us. Every item recycled, every piece of litter properly disposed of.
Every positive action we take, it all makes a difference.
For this World Environment Day, I'm going to advise others to pick up their litter and have the environment clean.
For World Environment Day, I am going to recycle.
On World Environment Day, I am going to be clean and stop littering.
For World Environment Day, I will teach my friends how to take a walk to the trash can and do not litter.
On World Environment Day, I will try to reduce the amount of waste I produce to help the environment.
On World Environment Day, I will plant a tree or a flower.
And maybe just take a walk in the savannah near our house and have a little appreciation for nature and its beauty. For World Environment Day, I would plant trees as it helps the environment and it helps us human beings breathe too.
This World Environment Day, we challenge you to think differently about your waste and consider how your everyday choices can help protect our environment for future generations. Swimcall remains your partner in defense of the environment. And remember, no matter your age or gender, everyone can be an Earth defender.
Show us your creative side. Grab your classmates and join our Trash to Art competition. Submissions end Friday, June 12th.
Happy World Environment Day 2026. Well, the time just about 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. A special good morning to you wherever you may be this morning. If you're streaming us live, we're saying good morning to everyone on YouTube. Just continue leaving us those comments, seeing Barbados representing in the chat. Always good to hear from you. Well, continuing with the show this morning. For many women, turning 50 is often viewed as a time to slow down, but today's guest is challenging that perception and proving that confidence, purpose, and impact can really grow stronger with age. Recently crowned Miss South Mature Trinidad and Tobago 2026, Bernice McDonald Ramkisoon is using her platform to champion women's empowerment, break age-related stereotypes, and inspire mature women to embrace new opportunities and leadership roles. Well, joining her is Darren Atts, no stranger to our show, CEO of the Miss South Mature pageant. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us again this morning and our morning program.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you so
Bernice. You are definitely a sight this morning.
Thank you so
and
much.
you are really brightening up our morning. I love your crown. You know, maybe I can borrow it sometime. I am very fascinated by crowns. But again, congratulations on being crowned Miss South Mature Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
So what did winning this title really mean for you personally?
It was a sense of empowerment for me. If you know my story, I came out of a deep depression after losing 2 children. And this allowed me to step out of my comfort zone, to interact with other women in sisterhood who might be experiencing some sort of trauma, some sort of grief. And I see it as me stepping into my purpose as a mature woman to empower other women.
Yeah. Now, your platform really focuses on empowering those women. Tell us, how do you do that?
By telling my story, which I have begun doing, and it's amazing the trauma that women are experiencing. And by my merely talking about my experiences, I'm helping women thus far.
Yeah. All right. Well, Darren, let's talk a little bit about Miss South Mature pageant. For those who may not have even known that this exists, tell us about it.
Well, it's actually 27 years I've been doing this franchise. And this came about also doing the Miss City of San Fernando when most of the parents were behaving like they needed to replace their children on stage. So I said, maybe you need to have your own show.
Okay.
And in that regard is why I created the Miss South Mature, giving them a platform to really showcase things that they felt that they were living through their children. And society had told them, listen, your time is up. But what the platform did, it gave them an opportunity to revisit those dreams and bring it to a sense of reality. They were able to vest in who they are as a person and also to grow more, not necessarily accepting the systems of what society and life has brought you, but learning to discover and unearth better parts and greater parts of themselves and showcase that in a realistic sense of who they are as women today. So this is what the platform will be able to do over the years and continuing after pageant night. They also take up this whole philanthropy work in terms of empowering other women, broadening the process and the motto of the show to inculcate more women to understand, to grow their inner power and sense of belief in who they are as women in today's world.
Yeah. Well, now that you are, you know, the queen for 2026, what are some of your plans, Bernice?
It goes deeper than winning the title.
Yeah.
I would really love to be a spokesperson for mature women. That life doesn't stop because you reach 40, 50, 60. This is when we are living our best lives. This is my best time right now. And you don't just expire. Society feels, okay, you're 40. They regulate you to a lane that says, okay, slow down. That's it for you. But no, we are mothers, we are aunties, we are in charge of homes. It's never too late to step out of your comfort zone to achieve your dreams, what you've been putting off in service of others, that you can now achieve at this stage.
Yeah. Now, Darren, what has the feedback been like over the years for Miss South Mature?
Tremendous. I'm surprised that the platform still is so relevant because we have so many programs out here that talking about women empowerment, women empowerment, women empowerment. And for some reason, sometimes it looks very masking. It doesn't sometimes allow them to really dig deep. With this platform, we really push them to dig deep and unearth. Even Bernice wasn't ready to tell her story about the loss of her 2 children. And it was something that she withheld. She kept holding as a barrier. So she was masking. And we kept pushing and saying, listen, there's an authentic aspect of you that we need to be transcending because other women can connect to that. And allowing the women to feel comfortable in these spaces, start to go in and do that inner work and try to resolve that particular trauma was what really blossomed them in that process. And as they started to grow, their confidence started to grow, and then other women started to feel that connectivity. And the entire community of this whole platform started to grow more and more. So that continuing process, yes, the vehicle is a pageant, but there's so much work that goes in the platform aspect of it, working with the women. There's always that pulling and tugging. We do have the knocking of ideas and knocking of issues and knocking of personalities, especially when I'm at the helm of this particular pageant. But I always say I'm doing it in a position of love and trying to get the best of them and let them see what I am seeing, that their greatest power is within, and allow that to shine. And once that shine, everyone else can see it.
Yeah. Now, Darren, I'm pretty sure that you've seen a lot of transformation with the contestants and the title holders.
Yes,
can you tell us a little bit about that?
They've learned a lot from me, and I've learned a lot from them. I mean, I grew up without the normal society in terms of a normal nuclear family of a mother. So it gives me an opportunity to tap into so many other women's homes and understand the dynamics of where everyone is in this country and their upbringing in different parts of the world and also spaces. And when that's poured into me, I'm able to understand greater, to understand where people are mentally and how they show up. Learning to use less of the multiple masks that one has and learning to truly show up authentically in who you are as a person, because the world is going to accept that. It's just the world tends to perceive and allow you to think that you have to use these multiple masks to show up in spaces. So now these women are like in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who have won this franchise. They are now showing up so authentically in terms of themselves. It is really inspiring other women in the process to step into who they are as persons. And we continue that in terms of some of the activities we're having in terms of Brunching with Queens, where is our empowerment program on the 13th of June at the Tradewinds Hotel. And that is an environment where you see a lot of persons crying, sharing and empowering each other and growing to become better versions of themselves. So that is what this whole platform is about, and I continue to enjoy doing this, working with the women. Not everybody's going to win, but you're going to also win one step closer to becoming who you are in the truest sense of the word.
And Bernice, what would you say to a woman over 50 who feels that her best years are behind her?
Well, at 59 years young, I've only just started to live. It's never too late to take up that mantle and step into the role. If it says you want to change career paths, you can go ahead and do that. Claim it. You are not over the hill if you're 50. Stand on that hill and proclaim it. Put your hands on your hip and say, yes, I have arrived. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I am still worthy. I can still contribute to society. And I intend to claim my space in this world, be resilient, be impactful, and forget the naysayers. As long as you have health and strength, you can achieve anything that you want. And I've known women who have started careers at 60, 70.
That's right. So much still to give.
Yes, so much still to give to society.
Yeah.
And we can be a beacon to younger women that life doesn't stop after 25. This is what it looks like to be our age. We are still impactful in society. This is what you can look forward to and achieve as you get older. Don't be afraid of aging. We accept classic cars that gets older. We accept wines that get older.
Yes.
Why is it that we cannot accept women who are more mature, wiser, and still able to contribute to society?
Yeah, well, we can see that Bernice is indeed a spokesperson for the cause. Bernice was saying she hopes to be. Bernice, I think you already are a spokesperson. Well, Darren, before we go, what would you also say to women, over 50 who may feel like, the best years are behind me. What can I do going forward? How can I give back to society?
Well, I know it's unfortunate most of commercial media does really pigeon that hole, forcing you to think that you're out of your lane, you're no longer there. And as we continue with this platform, we continue to push that this is an example. You can see examples there. Bernice is there speaking about that, and she also has the opportunity to sit on the Events Women Committee where she'll be putting together different programs. One is which is coming on the 13th of June at Tradewinds Hotel, where we invite women to join us, follow us on our Facebook page, contact us at 713-4100, and be part of that experience. Start to grow the community, to build the confidence that, listen, society may say that cancel culture behavior, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of wisdom and experience that can come from mature people, not just only women, but mature people in society. And it's important that helps to build back that level of structure in society, the oral tradition sharing, the information sharing, because we can't always leave it up to technology and AI and stuff to do that with, because they tend to dilute and mislead and misalign the information. But these people, we all have lived experience, and that is something that you could stand on and guarantee with.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bernice and Darren, for joining us this morning. All right, 7:24. We take a quick break, and when we come back, don't forget we'll link up with Next 99.1 FM today.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on,
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news, real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
I'm Virmala Balkaran, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
In world football are set to take center stage as the 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off on June 11th across the United States, Canada and Mexico. And the tournament will feature global stars including Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mbappe and Harry Kane. And this year's World Cup is the largest in history, expanding from 32 to 48 teams and featuring 104 matches across 16 host cities. Among the highly anticipated group stage clashes are Brazil versus Morocco on June 13th, France versus Senegal on June 16th, England versus Croatia on June 17th, and Argentina versus Austria on June 22nd. The tournament runs until June 19th when the world champion will also be crowned. Also, did you know this? Trinidad-born DJ Anarchy, Linton Burton, has been selected to perform at official FIFA World Cup events in Houston and Los Angeles after being discovered through social media. And he actually said he looks forward to bringing TNT and Caribbean vibes to football's biggest stage. I really love this for him and we wish him all the best. Remember, for all the stories that you see here and more, you can follow us at TTT Live online. If you have a story idea, press release, or you want to collaborate with us, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt and be a part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. Trinidad and Tobago Today, news you can trust and the stories that matter. Well, we are about to link up with Next 99.1 FM. But before we do that, I have to tell you that today the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago, their schools quiz, it takes place in Chaguanas. So we cannot wait for that. I'll have all the highlights for you to see all the kids and their diabetes terminology. It's quite amazing, really a sight, and TTT will have all the action for you a little later as well. Well, now it's time to make that connection with Next 99.1 FM. We're taking things across to radio to check in and see how the shift is going, get a feel of what's happening on their side right now. You know, they keep things moving on a Friday, so let's tap in.
You hear that? Woo! The new class. Next level of radio. Wake up! This is the link up with Next 99.1 FM.
Next 99, good morning. Happy Friday.
Morning, Virmala. How are you on this rainy Friday?
Is it raining?
Well, it's overcast. I left in rain this morning, but the rain subsides, so it's just overcast right now. But
okay.
I don't know if it's a mixture of the rain and the Sahara dust.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. Also, the roads are so slippery. We were just talking about an accident last night because of the slippery roads. So we're urging people, please be safe. Drive extra carefully.
And you know, I actually had that conversation with someone yesterday with regards to slippery roads, and some persons don't pay attention to their vehicles in terms of their tires, and we need to they just want to jump in a vehicle and just drive off like that. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so
and also, when it starts to rain, there's also that oil on the roads, so that is quite activated during the showers. So obviously you will slip, and please. And also there's that hydroplaning that you can do as well when you hit those pockets of water, especially when you're coming down from an overpass. You're on the highway. Yeah. There's those little dents in there with water filled up, the pockets of water. I'm really fed up of people driving carelessly, honestly.
I encountered that several times, and you would just find your car dancing, doing a little jig in the road.
Exactly.
So we need to exercise a little more caution on the roadways, especially during this period here, which we have entered into the rainy season, officially Corpus Christi yesterday, and we saw a heavy downpour yesterday for the holiday. What did you do for the holiday?
I was just about to ask you. I had a pretty chill day. I had some car problems, so I was dealing with that. And that is always a heartbreaking situation when you have to, look at your car being wrecked or towed or whatever it is because it needs to fix. But, like all things, they'll be repaired and it'll be even better afterwards. So I had a little heartbreak there for the holiday. What about you? What did you do? Did you plan anything?
I was here yesterday. I worked the 6 to 9 shift. I looked for you yesterday and apparently you had the day off.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I had the day off, so I don't know. I'm so sorry to rub that in your face, but
But
I had a day off.
I looking for Virmala. I said, but what's going on here? How you home today?
Yeah, well, I think I needed that one. I needed to deal with that situation. And it's amazing how my car troubles happened on the one day that I didn't need to be able. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Hey, Shaq, I hope you have a good day. I told you today I would be on your side, and I am on your side. I will not allow Fro to be mean to you.
I believe you always on my side.
You look at this. Look at that. Well, thank you guys. Have a beautiful day. We'll check in with you next week.
Thank you so much.
And have a great rest of your shift. And please be safe on the roads.
Have a wonderful, wonderful morning to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Fro Hummer and Shaq at Next 99.1 FM. That was the link up.
You hear that? The new class. Next level of radio. Wake up! This is the link up with Next 99.1 FM.
The Hindi Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago presents an evening of flair and flavor. Rang Ka Utsav, a celebration of colors. The 38th annual dinner and fashion event. Saturday, June 6th. Witness a stunning fashion of the world showcased by Richard Young. Hosted with timeless elegance by Miss World 1986, Giselle Laurent West. With Johan Chakere, Deval Chitlan, and the Shiv Shakti Dance Company. Mix and mingle and indulge in premium cuisine by Amtar Fine Foods. Saturday, 6th June at 6 p.m. at the Bougainvillea Hall, Center of Excellence, Mokoya. Tickets are $7.50 at Charon's, Twin City Mall, and Diego Martin, the Little Store, Kiram, Nehak Arena, Hilton, Trinidad. Extra foods or scan the QR code to book online. Call 662-2159.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Hi everybody, I am Leah.
And I'm Dion.
And we are
The Duncans.
Listen, we're here to tell you about a project the Lord has given to us called the Marriage Confessional. It is geared toward married couples, those that are on the road to marriage, and those that want to get married one day.
So join us on TTT and on Facebook and YouTube at TTT Live Online.
The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, we need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Well, you know this, Iwa Africa 2026 is just around the corner, and while we've already been discussing this year's theme of Flair for Freedom, we're taking a closer look now with one of the creatives helping to bring that vision to life. Well, joining us this morning, as usual, it is Iwa Africa director Richard Young and highly acclaimed Guyanese fashion designer Dr. Sonia Noel, whose designs have been celebrated throughout the Caribbean and beyond. Well, they're going to be sharing what audiences can expect from this year's showcase and how fashion can be used to celebrate culture, identity, and freedom. Well, good morning, Richard, and good morning to you, Dr. Noel.
Nice to be here. Hi, Sonia.
Well, Richard, we've been talking a lot about Iwa Africa before, Richard, but tell us why now that you think Sonia was a natural fit for this year's production?
Well, Sonia and I have been working together for years, and she's celebrating 30 years in the fashion business this year, and she is doing a roving tour of her celebrations, and one of her stops is Trinidad. She has been part of the Iwa Africa family. I just came back from Guyana, where we launched the celebrations, the 30th anniversary celebrations, which is going to span 7 months. She's that kind of woman. So she is very, very industrious and always strategic. And so that's what we do together so well. Wherever I go, if even she can't come personally, I carry her garments, you know. But most times we try to connect. So she's coming over for the show, and this will be her installment. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're seeing, Dr. Sonia, we're seeing some really nice designs on the screen right now, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So can you tell us, Dr. Sonia, what was your reaction when you were invited to be part of Iwa Africa 2026?
Well, actually, this is my first stop for my celebration outside of Ghana. As Richard said, we just launched at the Canadian High Commission residence. And this was just a fit because I've been part of the family, but this year it feels extra special, celebrating 30 years. And my Caribbean Afrocentric design has always been well received. And what a fitting place to my very first stop on my tour, Trinidad, one of my favorite places with one of my best friends. And yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah. Now, what elements of Guyanese heritage can we expect to see in your collection?
Oh, well, you see, the designs you were just looking at, if you notice there's a common thread there, that's the latticing. It came from the architecture here in Ghana. That was the influence, and also the indigenous basket weaving. That's what it looks like. So there are going to be 2 pieces on stage that's going to show that are 20 years old, from samples from 20 years ago, because it's going to be like not just a collection. Some of it is going to be very recent, but some of it is going to tell that history. And also a sneak peek into my new black and white collection is also going to be there in Trinidad. Richard, is for the first time, it's going to be shown what my black and white collection is going to look like. It's going to be a lot of hand painted and like motifs representing different parts of our indigenous culture.
Now, Richard, I know the theme is a flair for freedom. We've been discussing all of that. So now Dr. Sonia's work is going to be incorporated in this theme. And I know you have a whole idea for the overall storytelling and the real visual impact. So how do you see her work now being a great fit and a part of that theme?
Well, everything I do is about identity branding, and I believe I'm a regionalist and I believe in Caribbean identity, so I feel that we need to cohere our branding, because I think the insular approach is what is keeping us back. You know, on the totem pole of the brands of the world, the trademarks of the world, be it bespoke British, French couture, or Italian artisanal craftsmanship, there is Caribbean style, and Caribbean style is a mosaic. It's a tapestry influenced by our culture. So what Sonia brings to the show is a little bit of the Amerindian, a little bit of the African, and that is what I think is her sense of expressing her freedom to choose how to express fashion in this part of the world. That's a snippet from one of the Africas that is being shown there. We usually start with a designer who does accessories and from the forest. She's an eco accessories maker. She grows her accessories on 30 take acres of land. And as you saw just now, there's a performer. We can integrate performing. Performing arts is part of our identity branding. So there's spoken word, there's going to be voice performances, there's music, there's drums, there's singing, there's dancing, all integrated into what I call a theatrical spectacular in a non-traditional format on the Queen's Hall stage. So it's challenging to do, and always trying to give it a fresh approach, which again I'm going to do on Sunday.
Dr. Sonia, you've spent decades building your brand and really mentoring young designers. Would you tell us this morning what has been the key to your longevity in the fashion industry?
Before I get into that, I must say that we have the best creative director on planet Earth. Okay, not just because he's my friend, but
absolutely,
yes.
I agree.
My longevity, yesterday I actually was having a discussion with Casual and Renata, and that's one of the things I said. I had to be reinventing myself constantly, because you just can't take it for granted. It's just about your talent. And I'm a woman of faith too, so you'd constantly hear me say my source is God. So for me, the 30 years, when I look back on my journey, it really was that ability to give back, that ability to be grateful, and that ability to, no matter what, make the impossible possible. That comes from your passion and loving what you do, because along the way, the creative sector could be very daunting, because it's still regarded as something you do when you have nothing else to do. You don't even ask to be paid for it because you like it anyway. So I do believe, and when young designers, when they come into the arena and they said, oh, Miss Know what I want to do, like what you're doing, and the why has to be so compelling, because if it's going to be because you're going to be in the papers, or you're going to be on TV, or it's going to look like they say, light camera action. There's much more than light camera action. Beyond the runway, there is so many challenges. But again, if the wrong thing was smooth, you couldn't get to the top. But you have to get to that stage where this is part of my purpose. This is part of my calling. And you enjoy. When you know your why, you can enjoy your how. So they have a lot of young talent everywhere in the Caribbean, and I'm so passionate about it. And that's why Richard and I, we're doing a designer's quest that's coming up as part of the 30th year anniversary. But the longevity, you have to have that foundation of knowing that this is not just about you. You might be self-taught, but you're not self-made, and you need other people around you. And a good circle of people that that will be there for you no matter what, that is vital. Your front row must really reflect those people that have your best interests at heart.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sonia. Well, before we go, Richard, give us just a reminder about Iwa Africa, why we don't want to miss this, when is it happening, and what can we see?
Okay, Iwa Africa, this year's theme is a flair for freedom. It's part of the wider theme of the Emancipation Support Committee, which is about igniting African consciousness and dismantling colonial legacies. There's a host of talent on the show. Twin Inc., which is the Batiste brothers. There's Abeo Jackson. There is Abiola. There is Vaughnette Bigford. There's Wasafoli Theatre Group, which is dance, drum, and singing. And there are 20 designers. The best of designers on stage now is the Cloth. But we have the widest cross-section of designers with the best set of silhouettes that you possibly can have. And it's a pre-show to what is going to be worn at the Emancipation time. And TTT is going to be showing the edited version come July. So that we're always happy to partner with TTT. So it's, and tickets are still available, just a few, at Queen's Hall box office. So you can try and get your tickets from Queen's Hall box office. And please come out and enjoy the celebration and be part of the quest for freedom.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Dr. Sonia. Iwa Africa 2026. We're looking forward to that. We take a break now. When we come back, we get ready to wrap things up with one more special guest on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is limitless.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
I'm Virmala Balkaran, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Now, before our next guest, we need to mention this, and it's been a story that we've been following for quite a while. Farida Balgobin, Joshua Benny, and Rohit Sitahal are expected to appear before the Siparia Magistrates Court today, charged with a series of offences linked to the alleged kidnapping, false imprisonment, and abuse of a woman over several years. This follows an investigation into allegations that a woman was unlawfully confined and subjected to repeated abuse between 2019 and April of 2026. And this case comes to the light now after a woman reportedly escaped and sought help at the Barrackpore police station on April 11th. Police had said that she had visible injuries and alleged that she had been forced to perform domestic duties while being prevented from leaving a residence in Pinal. You would remember that we previously spoke with both Edward Moody and Vicky Rampasad on this matter, and you know we will keep following and update you as information comes to us. Well, our final guest this morning is very special, as I promised, and music has a unique way of telling our stories, celebrating our culture, and keeping us connected to home no matter where we are. So this morning we're joined now by singer-songwriter, extremely talented producer Akili, whose debut album Tobago Vibes blends soca, Afrobeats, and personal experiences to capture the spirit of Tobago and the wider Caribbean. Good morning, Akili.
Good morning, good morning.
So for viewers who will be meeting you for the first time on the screen right now, tell us a little bit about yourself and your musical journey.
Yeah. So I've been doing music my entire life. I have been in musicals and operas. I studied voice performance in university. I had a band. I did a cappella groups. And then I performed in a wedding band for about 10 years. But I've been writing, my first song I wrote at 14. So I've been writing for quite some time. And then about 2 years ago, I started on a journey trying to help a family member who were in a crisis. And I was writing a lot. And I decided to start writing a show to kind of explain and write some of the stories about what was going on. And that, about a year ago, it turned into this album and I'm so excited.
So it's called Tobago Vibes, and this is your debut album. Now, the title track I want to talk about a little bit. It celebrates your love for Tobago. So what was your inspiration for all of this? Obviously Tobago, but what made you want to write this one?
The first track was sitting at Piarco Airport. So I've written 3 of the songs.
In transit.
3 of the songs on my first album were written.
And these are the visuals from that video.
From I Need a Flight Tobago. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was sitting at the airport waiting for a flight to get back to Tobago, and I just had this thing in my head. I need a flight. I going home. I going home. Tobago. And that turned into that first song.
Beautiful visuals as well. Can you tell us about the video?
Oh, yeah. So I'm working with some animators, both from Trinidad. One is in the diaspora and now lives in Germany. And the main animator, Jala, actually lives in Diego Martin.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's really beautiful.
But these are all places in Tobago, so that you have scenes from Traditions, you have scenes from Cafe Down Low, you have scenes at Pigeon Point, all in the video. When they step into the puddle, it's the shape of Tobago. So, but this was, I'm really excited about that.
Now you have another track, it's called Afro Latina. What's the inspiration behind that one?
Oh, yeah. So that's the most popular track I have. That one was written, actually, spent some time in Panama. My mom is from there, and I met this woman who was just this beautiful African garb and hair wrapped and everything. And I know that sometimes in certain places, in Panama, for example, they have, there's an issue sometimes with embracing the African roots. And I was so inspired by this woman and our conversation that it inspired that song.
Yeah, and your music actually blends soca, Afrobeats, R&B, and even other influences. So how would you describe your sound?
I'd say to folks the genre is Afrobeats with some Caribbean vibes, and my vocals are R&B.
What do you hope that listeners, especially young Caribbean people, will take away from Tobago Vibes?
Ooh, good question. I think for me, it was as much a celebration of Tobago as it also was actually a bit of a protest album. It's snuck in there. And by that, what I mean is my dad grew up here and moved to New York, moved to the US. And so many people, I think, grow up here and the goal is to somehow get to the US empire or get to UK or get to, and I realized I found my paradise.
Yeah.
And there's so much culture and community and history and so much to celebrate and so much to be proud of in Tobago, and the community embraced me and my family, and I love it so much. And so, as I said, I didn't want to write the album finger pointing or preachy, but I wanted to really celebrate Tobago, and it has so many of my life and those storylines in there.
All right, well, before we go, Akilia, and take in a bit of that video, what's next for you?
So this year, year one for me of my writing ended last weekend. And as of last week, so I finished my writing, but in October, I will finish Tobago Nights. That will finish coming out. So my second album, so Tobago Vibes and then Tobago Nights, which will be out, all out by October. And so I'm kind of like getting those songs out. Next week, Wednesday, at La Vida in Buku, I'm going to have my listening party for Tobago Nights, so folks can come out and see that complimentary show. And this October, right before Carnival, or I think right around Carnival season, the first stick fighting competition is coming to Tobago in Buku, and I'll be performing there, and the whole album should be out by then.
All right, well, that's how we say thank you and goodbye to everyone. We'll see you next Monday where we do this all over again. Thanks to everyone who joined the show this week. We leave you with a bit of Achilles' music video, and we'll see you. Have a good weekend. Please be safe. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Catch the sun, before it fades away. Wind surfing, birds waving. Yes, she calling. Sun so warm, fill the up. Coconut breeze, drinks in the mug. Still pan dancing. Take me home, palm trees sway. Tobago. Cocoa Reef, Castara Falls. Tobago.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100, 100.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Trinidad and Tobago has been elected to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for the 2027 to 2028 term. Running unopposed, the country secured 181 out of 191 votes. Professor Hamid Ghani noted that this is not the nation's first time serving in this position.
We have been elected to the Security Council. We were elected in the 1985-86 period, and now we are back. And I think what makes this quite significant is the headwinds that the government faced late last year when Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa was very firm in her position with regard to the U.S. military buildup in the southern Caribbean Sea, and also her position on Venezuela.
The professor says that the overwhelming support for TNT is a strong indication of the country's standing. The milestone reflects TNT's growing diplomatic footprint in the Western Hemisphere.
What happened today was that all 5 permanent members voted for us. So the United Kingdom, the United States, China, France, and Russia, who are the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, all voted for Trinidad and Tobago as a representative from the Latin America Caribbean region. There's only one representative, and it was Trinidad and Tobago that was on the ballot. But Trinidad and Tobago could not qualify if it did not get that 2/3 majority. So we were well in excess of it.
Professor Ghani says that this win is significant, as it vindicates Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa's position on Venezuela, which has been widely criticized. He added that the endorsement of the United Nations reflects international confidence in Trinidad and Tobago's foreign policy stance and diplomatic approach. In other news, according to Trinidad and Tobago's Financial Intelligence Unit, or the FIU, online scams have become increasingly widespread, with digital fraud costing victims millions of dollars. Cybersecurity expert and digital anthropologist Darren Dure of Cyber Safety TT notes that these scams are constantly evolving. One of the latest trends involves fraudulent vehicle sales, where unsuspecting buyers are deceived through online listings.
A picture of this vehicle, and they would probably say, listen, you don't need to pay me the full amount. We could do a rent to own, right? So, just pay me a deposit.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of the vehicle after. It looks very attractive.
Yeah.
So you pay the deposit, and then the individual disappears.
Another member of Cyber Safety TT, Cole Hussein, notes that this is not only people buying products online being scammed, but also sellers.
A bank transfer or a screenshot of a bank transfer, it doesn't really mean that you've been paid.
Really?
What you should do is, either contact your bank or just simply go into your banking app. I mean, during COVID, we were, sending so many bank transfers because we couldn't interact physically with people. So, I would say, stay away from just taking that as your full proof of payment and just take a look at your bank app and verify the balance,
Mr. Dure and Mr. Hussein also advise individuals engaged in online buying and selling to keep detailed digital records. They recommend taking screenshots of transactions and communications so that in the event of a dispute or scam, there's evidence available to share with the relevant authorities. In some crime now, police in Central arrested 3 men and seized 3 vehicles, including 2 high-end BMWs, during an intelligence-led operation in Cunupia. Officers went to a home along Chin Chin Road after receiving information about possible illegal activity. They detained 2 individuals who were aged 26 and 28 from Diego Martin. While no guns or ammunition were found, checks on a black BMW, red BMW, and white Nissan Sylphy showed the number plates didn't match the vehicles. Police believe the cars may be stolen. The men were arrested and investigations are continuing. And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Kyrie Roberts. From all of us here, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
Hi, Mahalia. After so many years delivering the news, what is something about you viewers would be surprised to learn?
Viewers would actually be surprised to know that I am actually an introvert. God alone knows how I got into this profession, this field, but yes, I am an introvert. I'm very shy.
What's one thing you absolutely must do before going on air every day?
So one thing I absolutely must do before going on air is recite Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, because I would say at one point I always felt like I couldn't present the news, and that scripture always keeps me grounded, keeps me know to myself that I can in fact do it.
Are you naturally a morning person or a night owl? And which one does the news schedule force you to be?
Can I tell you a secret? I'm actually an afternoon person. I'm neither a morning person or a night owl. But being in news has pushed those limits for me. So I am now a morning person as well as a night owl, just so I can constantly keep in tune with what's happening. Hi. I'll have an iced coffee, vanilla with oat milk, please.
If you weren't working in news, what career do you think you'd be doing today?
I think I'd be a teacher. I think teaching would have also been something that I would have done, because I naturally like sharing information and guiding persons that are younger than me. I like being a mentor. So I think if I were not in media, I'd be a teacher. Oh, thank you.
What is the biggest change you've seen in how people consume news?
The biggest change I have noticed in the way people consume news obviously is digital media. People are logging into our website, they are checking YouTube, Facebook, social media, all of our platforms to consume news. It's no longer just limited to television, newspaper, and radio. So that would be the biggest change.
When you step away from the newsroom, what helps you disconnect and